Hello preservationists and welcome to Forest Evolution. Today we've preserved the Famicom Disk Writer EEPROM pack. Now you may be asking yourself, what does that even mean? Well, why don't we start by taking a bite-sized look into what exactly the Famicom Disk Writer is and what happened to it. The year is 1986. Nintendo has just released the brand new Famicom Disk System. Alongside this, an incredible machine was rolled out to game stores all over Japan. This machine was called the Famicom Disk Writer. The Disk Writer was a large kiosk that allowed for anyone to rewrite their Famicom disks with a brand new game for just 500 yen. However, in 2003, Nintendo discontinued this service and took back every unit. With things like this, you'd think one is bound to slip into the hands of the public, but sadly, even to this day, there hasn't been a single unit found in the wild. Currently, there are various cartridges, disks, and data that need to be found and recovered from the Disk Writer. While we've never seen a full setup, there are still some items that have slipped through the cracks and never made its way back to Nintendo. Enter the Famicom Disk Writer EEPROM pack, which is a new find we're preserving today. The EEPROM pack isn't a fully functioning ROM, but instead it was a cartridge that contained a huge list of product codes for every game that users were able to rewrite their disks with. As you can see in this picture of the unit, the cartridge was placed here on the main Disk Writer PCB. Here's a closer look at the cartridge itself. Note that the cartridge on the left contains a label with Repair 3 written on it, implying these were service cartridges. I mentioned earlier that Nintendo took back all the Disk Writer kiosks, but what happened to them? For 2014's Game Center CX, the movie, Nintendo lent out their Disk Writer unit for use in the film. Here's a clip.
Oh. そういえば鶴岡君の話聞いた？
なんだっけ？
鶴岡君のスパルタン X さ、仮パクされたらしいよ。
仮パク？
仮パクなんて許せないよ。
誰だよ仮パクしたの？
そんなの決まってんじゃん。加藤だよ。
ああ、加藤か。そりゃもう帰ってこねえわ。あれはブラックホール状態だもの。ガシガシ。
Though this isn't the last time we see the Disk Writer. In October 2016, Nintendo made a blog post part of a 6-week Legend of Zelda nostalgia project. The author of the post explains how they've never used a disk system since they weren't born at the time of its release. So, they decided to go search for a Famicom and disk system in the company warehouse so they'd be able to play The Legend of Zelda on actual hardware. After searching the warehouse, he stumbled upon quite a few of them. The employee excitedly unboxed the Famicom and disk system only to run into an issue. They couldn't get it hooked up to a TV. With the senior member's help, they eventually found a CRT TV that was able to display the Famicom. The employee writes that upon turning it on, everyone around him was really excited when it worked. Satisfied with the results, he went to go return the Famicom to the warehouse when he stumbled upon this. Yep, that's right. That's a Disk Writer. Thank you all for tuning into this Forest of Illusion video. Before we sign off, we'd like to mention one last thing. There are still many Famicom items that need to be found. If you find any of the following items, please contact us. Pink Famicom discs, also known as the FMC Disc Card Checker, yellow NES cartridges with a black label, also known as soft packs, and green Famicom discs which hold sales data. Of course, if you have anything else you'd like preserved, you're free to contact us over on Twitter or via email. Make sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all of our latest releases. Goodbye!